Hi Gemini, thank you for joining me and welcome to your reading for Uranus in Taurus. I know I had to take a little time to get this to you, but here it is today. I'm excited to be here. So we're going to take a look at your oracle cards with astrology and explain what's going on for you over the next 7 years from now until 2026, based on Uranus's transit in your 12th house. So this reading is for Sun, Moon, and Rising Gemini, and yeah, it's pretty powerful transit. So you have the first message is a dry desert. Uranus in some way has taught you what kind of friends you need to have over the last 7 years and where you are in relation to where you need to be. Unlike Saturn that actually takes friends away and out of your life in the 11th house, Uranus sort of made you question the nature of your friendships and how you relate to them, what the nature of that dynamic is. We have the Magician and the Mirror. I feel as though you've been feeling like you want really a lot more out of your relationships and out of your social life. You've broadened your horizons, you've gone to new directions, and you have sought out new answers to questions about who you are and about who you are vis-a-vis the people that you know. The next message is Ghostlands. I told you, see, you're finding yourself kind of alone right now because of the last 7 years, the last 7 years of your relationships, and how you have been choosing and what you've identified as important factors you never knew about before. Such things as like what's important to you in a relationship, what kind of people you need to be friends with. In fact, Uranus in the 11th house often teaches us how we've been looking for relationships in a completely wrong way. So it's a very humbling transit, but it transforms us and makes us better, and also it brings very unique characters into our lives, new people into our lives who teach us like new ways of relating to people. Now, some of those people may have not stuck around, but I feel like you have the prototype now, so you understand the blueprint, you understand what to look for. And with at least in April, so with the Sun and Chiron here and Vesta, you have the ability, and then Mercury and Venus really giving you an opportunity to focus on your lessons. So even though you may be feeling at the beginning of this transit as though you're sort of alone, I do feel like that is going to transform, and the reason you're alone is because you've understood something. You know, you were always alone in a way. You've just understood something on a deeper level. Now we have the compass, you know, which way to go. And in fact, Jupiter is in 2019 is in your 7th house of partnership. So maybe there's this opportunity of which way to go. Maybe the more of it will happen in 2020, and that definitely in 2021 when Jupiter moves into this area of your life, and you'll have a lot of breakthrough moments. And as we head into 2022, Uranus and Jupiter are going to start forming a beautiful sextile energy. And so that when that happens in 2022, there will be a lot of opportunities coming into your life. Those directions and paths are going to be solidified. Let me reiterate it so you understand. So right now, in some way, you're working on your partnerships with this newfound information that happened over the last 7 years. That's a part of it, right? And then Jupiter moves into your 8th house, allowing for change and transformation. So that transformation gets deeper. You become sort of more isolated, but in some ways in alignment with better quality people for you, people who are more attuned to who you are. And then as Jupiter moves into your 9th house in 2021, I feel like that's when you really broaden horizons and take steps to go even further. By then, Lilith here will be over here, I think, somewhere. So, you know, she will be through probably the majority of your 11th house of friendship. You'll in some way have an opportunity to kind of leave the difficult relationships behind. But in 2022, when Jupiter actually moves in here, if my math is right, that's when you're going to have a huge transformation. That's when that compass point really points you in the right direction. Then we have the Archangel Michael, the first chakra. You're rerouting yourself, definitely. And so let's get into Uranus in the 12th house. Uranus in the 12th house has a lot to do with like a reframing of your subconscious. I have Uranus in my 12th house natally, right alongside my ascendant. And so when it's like this, you guys know I'm deeply like cerebral. For an earth watery person, I'm deeply cerebral. I'm very cognitive based. I've been doing psychology since I was a kid. So as a counselor, I've been working as a counselor, a peer counselor since I was a teenager. So you have a predisposition to go in deep into your, and I do that to myself as well in meditation and whatnot. So what you're doing essentially is you're reframing the roots of who you are. It's a very deep-seated transit that really hits the core of your being. The next message is home. I think you're going to change everything. I think everything's going to get uprooted in the next 7 years, from 2019 to 2026. And I think that the more that you entertain this energy, the more that you take benefit of these transits in 2019 and 2020, the deeper that transformation will be. So it's all upon you how deep that rabbit hole goes, they say. Here is the next message. We have the unexpected visitors. So Uranus will bring unexpected people into your life. Sometimes this is called the house of the hidden enemy. I wouldn't be so worried about that until Lilith gets here. When Lilith gets here, that's going to be a tricky year. So that's going to be 10 months from here and then 20 months from now, from 2019. So that's what, 2021 or so. That 2021 year is going to be very here, there, everywhere, and then 2022 is going to be much more settled for you, and then you're going to hit the bullseye in 2022. Mark my words. Mark it in your phone and hit me up in 2022. I'd love to hear from you and see how you're doing, right? Here is the next message. We have the commitment card. Commitment to something. I think that you're going to commit yourself to some kind of ideology. In fact, the magician in the mirror, you may have been in some way introduced to someone who transformed your perspective. So there's no practice on this face of the earth that is just instantaneous, whether it's a volcano, whether it's a tornado, it takes a really long time to transform. And I feel as though there are teachers who are coming into our lives, and you have to show respect to the people that are teaching you things, and I think that there's this reverence that is here as well. So like respect to the people that are coming into your life, because if you don't respect the people who are in this position for you, then I feel like what's going to happen is that it's going to obstruct your compass. Because you're going to get stuck dealing with the consequences of karma with other things. This is the trajectory of the south node to the north node, right? We try to be sympathetic and holistic when we talk about this, but essentially when you make proper choices, you get yourself closer and closer to this. Now, there's external factors, life's not perfect, so you should never beat yourself up about this, but the more in line you are with the flow of energy, then the more you go to where you're meant to be, and the more that you are prepared for this unexpected message, probably in 2021, 2022, for the unexpected visitors. Angel of balance. So you finally learn to walk the talk that you have been speaking, which is cool because, Geminis, you guys are so smart, so smart, right? And so the thing is that your mouth goes faster than your feet does oftentimes, and I'm not being shady, but it's really true. And so if you can still stay still for long enough, Geminis have a really hard time completing things. So if you could stay still long enough, then maybe you can achieve that which you're speaking about, but you'll probably get busy talking about something else by then anyway. So the call to action is get yourself really rooted and stick to something and continue through, rather than rushing and not actually savoring anything. But I'm speaking from a Virgo's perspective. You know, I always say this: Geminis and Sagittarians always tell Virgo and Pisces to hurry up. We're all mutable signs, and mutable in Pisces. Virgo and Pisces always tell Gemini and Sagittarius to slow the crap down and pay attention, right? So it's a natural kind of interaction that we remind each other of these things. But still, the garden and the gate. Always going through that gate, Gemini, to a new gate, to a new opportunity. Recognize, you know, things that are happening around you. People who have done well by you, have done well by your partner, have done by others. Sometimes it's like you don't even know some of the things that people have done for you, even when before this time has come, maybe even in a past life. And so have reverence and don't get... I think that this has really left you in a place of like a degree of honesty in your life, a degree of serenity and peace. So there's no reason to disrupt that through your own action on its own. No reason to disrupt it whatsoever. This is where you're going in 2026, the angel of balance. And I attribute Uranus as one of my most important transits in my chart. I'm an outer planet ecologist. If you guys look in my write-up in the back, that's how I describe myself, because I believe in the outer planets. I work with them. I work with their energy. And so the Uranus in the 12th house, I can't tell you enough how of a dope transit it is, but you really have to see it through. Hopefully life will help you in order to see it through so that you can attain the things you have come to realize. Okay? Thank you guys so much for joining me, and have a wonderful, wonderful 6 years, 7 years. Check in with me and let me know how it's going. This is one of those readings that you want to go back to. All of your readings for now are on your playlist in the description. In 7 years, there's probably going to be a new setup altogether, so I don't know what's happening then, but I hope you're watching this video. Hello to the future. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.